All right, boys and girls, we're going to pick up with where we left off on page 13. So for your remote assignment, we did the work above on page 13. Now we're just going to continue 13. We'll finish this up, then we'll start something not new necessarily, but different than just division equations. All right, so we're talking about this, excuse me, this one here about Rick. But before we do that, let's just kind of remember what a division equation is going to look like. It's going to be a variable divided by a part equals another part. This part here that we're dividing by, sometimes it'll be like the denominator of a fraction. So if it was like half of v, we'd do v divided by 2. If it was like a third of v, v divided by 3. So sometimes in problems there'll be fractions like that with the division equation, and we'll use the fractions sort of to help us divide. All right. Excuse me. It says Rick ate 7 chicken wings on Thursday. Nice. This was 1/8 of the chicken wings he ate during an eating contest on Friday. Write and solve a division equation to find how many chicken wings Rick ate on Friday. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. How many chicken wings Rick ate Friday? So I'm going to let W, start with that let statement, equal number of wings Rick ate Friday. Okay. So this says we're going to write a division equation, so it's going to look kind of like this. We're going to start with the variable on top, and what are we going to divide by? Well, they say it was 1/8. He ate 1/8 of the chicken wings at a contest. So that 7 equals 1/8. So we're going to divide the number of wings he ate on Friday divided by 8, and that will give us what he ate on Thursday, which was 7. So that's the division equation. He ate more on Friday, which is W, but we just have to find out how many. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that divided by 8 by multiplying both sides by 8. Put a little barrier right there. All right, so let's look at both sides. These 8s cancel each other out, and we're left with W equals 7 times 8 is 56. All right, so apparently he ate 56 wings on Friday, which is quite a bunch. That's like a bucket of wings. So to check that, we're going to write the equation again that we started with. W divided by 8 equals 7. Excuse me. Instead of W, though, we're going to try 56. 56 divided by 8 equals 7. Well, this is kind of a simple division fact to know. 56 divided by 8, that would be 7. So 7 equals 7. So the answer would be, I don't know where to put this necessarily. Maybe on the side here. Rick ate 56 wings on Friday. Oh boy. Hopefully he took a break from wings for a little bit after that Friday. All right. Now let's try this one. This is also division, and we can tell because it says division equation, about Carla buying ribbon for costumes. So Carla is buying ribbon for costumes. She wants to divide the ribbon into 8.5 pieces for 16 costumes. Write and solve a division equation to find the length. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that we're missing the label here. It should be 8.5 inch pieces. So I'm just adding the abbreviation for inch right here. So we're trying to find the length of ribbon Carla should buy. So let's let, R equal length of ribbon Carla should buy. Again, I took that right from the question. Now, this is going to be a division equation, so we know that we're going to start with the variable on top, divided. Now, there's a total amount of ribbon she has. And if we divide it into 8.5-inch pieces, at the end, we'll have enough for 16 costumes. So whatever this number is, when we divide it by 8.5, the answer would be 16. So we're going to find what that R is. It's going to be more than 8.5 and more than 16 as well. So we have to, I'm going to do my little barrier. We have to multiply both sides by 8.5. And I'm going to use a parentheses here because there is a decimal point. 8.5, 8.5, those cancel out. We're left with R equals 16 times 8.5. If you don't know it, we can always do it off to the side. 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Placeholder 0, we did the 5. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12. We'll add those up, and we get 1,360. However, there's one decimal place here, and we get 136. 136. Okay. So she needs 136 total inches, looks like. Well, let's check that out. R divided by 8.5 equals 16. It's going to be 136 divided by 8.5 equals 16. And we kind of already checked it here. We did the work here. So if 16 times 8.5 is 136, 136 divided by 8.5 going backwards would be 16. So this is our solution. So Carla needs 136 inches of ribbon. Just going to write that below here. Carla needs 136 inches of ribbon. Hopefully she gets that ribbon. Okie dokie. Now, on the next page, we're going to be looking at writing equations without necessarily being told what kind of equation we're going to write. And it's a little tricky, but I'm gonna give you some hints, some tips, and tricks to help you do that. All right, so we go to page 14. On the bottom, we're just going to put a couple notes. On the bottom of page 14, I want you to write addition. And with an addition equation, this is how you write it. I'm just going to remind you how to write these. This is going to help us today. It's going to be a variable plus the part equals the total. That's what 6th grade addition equations look like. Okay? Variable plus the part equals the total. Excuse me, for subtraction, I'm just going to abbreviate subtraction, it's going to be the variable minus a part equals another part. And again, with subtraction, it doesn't matter what part goes where. We just have to make sure the variable goes in the front. Okay? All right. Well, multiplication is going to be the part, that's the number, times the variable equals the total. And then division, what we just did, and I kind of have to squeeze this in here, is going to be the variable divided by the part equals another part. So these are just kind of basically what these equations will look like for each type of equation. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to try one out for each type, but it won't tell us right away what type of equation we need. That's why I'm going to help you kind of set these up here. It says, the one on top, a model plane is 1/48 the size of an actual plane. The model plane is 28 inches long. How long is the actual plane? So the actual plane is going to be like a pretty big number, definitely bigger than 28. definitely bigger than 1/48. So I'm thinking this is going to be a division equation. How can I tell? Well, one, you have a fraction in here, and a lot of times in sixth grade, when you have a fraction as part of your equation, you're going to be dividing. So I'm thinking like if we take the actual size of the plane, which is what we're trying to find, and divide it by 48, we'll get 28 inches. That's what I'm thinking. So how long is the actual plane? So we're going to that's what we're trying to find. Let P maybe equal length of actual plane. First thing would be to write the let statement. All right, so to solve this, we're going to take P. I think this is division, so if we look at the bottom, it's going to look like this. Variable divided by a part equals another part. Variable is 28, or I'm sorry, the variable is P. So if we divide P, which is the actual plane, by 48, we should get 28, which is the size of the model. All right, I'm feeling good about this. Let's put the little barrier here. And we're going to multiply by 48 on either side to get the solution. These 48s cancel out, of course. P equals, well, if I don't know 28 times 48, I can just do it off to the side right here. Or off to the top, I guess this would be. 8 times 8 is 64. 4 down, carry the 6. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 6 is 22. Placeholder 0. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 3 is 11. So when you add those up, it's kind of smushed here, but it's going to be 4, 4, 3, 2, 3, 1. It should be 1,344, I guess would be inches, which makes sense. I mean, this is a plane work. This is the size of an actual plane. So that makes sense that it is quite big. It's quite long. And then to check that, let's divide it. So we got P divided by 48 equals 28. Instead of P, we'll put 1,344 divided by 48 equals 28. And we did work off to the side here, so I'm confident that if you divide these two numbers, you'll get 28. Because the multiplication, of course, and division are inverses. So how long is the actual plane? So the answer would be this. That's the solution. The plane is 1,344 inches long. All right, so we started out with the division. This is a division equation. Let's see what the next one would be. Terrell bought an MP3 player. He spent the rest of his money on a subscription to Spotify for $24.75. If he started with $135, how much was the MP3 player? Okay, well, let's first start off with the let statement. The let statement is going to be the cost of the MP3 player. So we're going to let M equal cost of MP3 player. So like an iPod or something like that. Okay? All right, so for this, I'm thinking like that's a total. That if he started with 135, that's his total. And if we add M, which is the cost of the MP3 player, and $24.75, if we add those together, we get the total. So I'm thinking this is going to be an addition equation. And an addition equation looks like this. Or a variable plus the part is the total. So in this case, variable is the MP3 player, the part is the Spotify subscription. Add those together, you get the total, which was $134, which is what he started with. So it's going to be M plus $24.75 equals $135. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do the little line for equal sign. Now we have to undo adding $24.75 by subtracting $24.75. So from both sides, we're going to subtract 2475 because we want to get the m by itself. Now I'm going to annex a decimal point and 2 zeros here because, you want to line up the decimal points when you subtract. These cancel out, and you're left with just m equals. Now we're going to have to do a little regrouping here. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 7 is 2. Bring down the decimal point. 4 minus 4 is 0. 3 minus 2 is 1. $110.25 for that MP3 player. It's kind of expensive, but hopefully it's high quality. Hopefully you're getting what you paid for, I guess. So now we're going to check it. We're going to write the equation we started with. And that seems reasonable. Like if we got a number that was greater than 135, we'd be like, excuse me? Because if he started with $135, we want to make sure that whatever he's spending his money on is not more than $135. So that's why I'm confident that this was a addition equation. All right, let's add these up. 110 plus $24 would be $134. 25 cents plus 75 cents is an extra $1. So this is going to be 100. This is 135. Notice I actually took a moment to actually think about whether that was equal or not. And it is. Feeling good about that one. So we can say an MP3 player is $110.25. All right, Terrell, enjoy that MP3 player. All right, we're going to try a couple more here. We'll be all set. If a horse could maintain its average speed for 4 hours, it could travel 120 miles. Write and solve an algebraic equation to find the average speed of the horse. Okay, so we want to find the average speed of a horse. So let's let, h perhaps, equal average speed of horse. Okay, now, I don't think this is an addition equation because I can't see, like, if you're not going to add the speed to the hours. That wouldn't make sense. Subtraction also wouldn't make sense. I'm thinking multiplication because you have a certain number of hours, and if you multiply it by this number h, you should get 120. So, like, if he traveled, the horse or she, 10 miles per hour, 10 times 4 would be 40. So, it wouldn't be 120, but I'm thinking we're going to multiply here. So I'm thinking this is going to be a multiplication equation. So we can do, like, 4 would be the part, because multiplication equations will look like this. Part times the variable equals the total. 4 is probably the part. 120 is probably the total. So 4 times h equals 120. I'm going to do our little barrier there. Now we want to get the h by itself. We want the h alone. So we're going to divide both sides by 4 to get rid of that 4 next to the h. Cancel it out. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 120 divided by 4 is 30, which means the horse traveled 30 miles per hour, which seems reasonable. It's quite fast, but it seems reasonable. All right, let's check it using the original equation. All right, h we got was 30, so instead of h, we'll put 30. So 4 times 30 is 120. Well, what's 4 times 3 is 12. So 4 times 30 is 120. I'm just going to pause it here. I'm getting a phone call. Okay, we're back here. All right, sorry for that pause. It's appreciate your patience. 4 times 3 is 12. So 4 times 30 would be 120. All right, so that checks out. This answer we got seems to be right. And that means the horse I guess can run 30, I'm just going to abbreviate miles per hour, mph, miles per hour. All right, let's check out this last one here. Pete He's 15 years old. This is 6 years younger than his sister Victoria. So Victoria is the older sister because Pete's 6 years younger than Victoria. All right. Write and solve an algebraic equation to find Victoria's age. All right. So we don't know Victoria's age. That's what we're trying to find. So we're going to would make sense for V to equal Victoria's age. All right. Okay, okie dokie. Now, here's the thing. If we knew Victoria's age, okay, Pete is 6 years younger than that. So if we took Victoria's age and subtracted 6, we would get Pete's age, which is 15. You know why I know this is a subtraction equation? For that reason, because Victoria's age minus 6 is 15. But we started out with the division, then addition, then multiplication. So I'd assume that this is subtraction. Let's see if that makes sense. So subtraction will look like this. Variable minus a part equals a part. The variable, well, look at that. They're V. Both variables are V. All right, V minus 6. So if Victoria's older, if you subtract 6 years from her age, you get Pete's age, which is 15. So I'm thinking that is the equation. All right, let's solve it. So we're going to have to get rid of that minus 6. We're going to add 6 to both sides to get the V by itself. That will find us Victoria's age. These cancel out. V equals 15. I'm sorry, this should be plus. 15 plus 6. That will be, she's 21. So that makes sense. Pete's 6 years younger. He's 15. She'd be 21. That's 6 years older than Pete. Let's just check that to make sure that checks out. V minus 6 equals 15. V is 21. Minus 6 equals 15. And, 21 minus 6 would be 15. That checks out. All right, so this seems to make sense. Victoria is 21. So I'm just going to jot that down here. Victoria is 21 years old. For now, I guess. Okay. All right. So that was just some practice writing equations. We're going to be doing this a couple more times before we get to the test. But believe it or not, the test is coming up soon because we pretty much covered all the new stuff in the unit. So I'll be talking to you soon about the review packet. But for now, if you have any other questions, please let me know. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.